The mic is on. That's what I meant. I hope that everything is working. It's always with these live things, take some time to activate your mic. I've done that, so let's hope it works right now. Otherwise, I'm just gonna wait a bit. Now it's on. All right, so let's start listening to some music, shall we? I've got a lot of cool music from you guys. See a lot of patrons who send in their music, which I like a lot. And I think we're just gonna start because you have been waiting long enough. So let's start with the first one. I see here is a patron called Blackout. So let's hear him. Let's see. Blackout made a track and let's see what he says. It's a track, a collaboration actually by Desron and Blackout. So let's hear what it's. The first one, just some general info. So let's just have a listen. I don't even know how loud I have the volume. Oh. All right, Blackout. It's on! Desron and Blackout. I really like this one. I especially really like that the mix down is so crisp and so clear. It's a really booming track, but it's not distorted, I mean the sounds, there are some synthesizer sounds which are pretty distorted, but they're on purposely distorted, which I quite like. I really like how everything is like flowing, everything is not too difficult to hear. And I think, yeah, it's a great first track to kick off this feedback live stream. I really like what you guys did. So keep it up. I'm looking forward to hear more music from you. So let's hop on to the next one. I need to check the next one. Matrino, who's a patron as well. So as you know, I'm gonna lend the first listen to my patrons and then afterwards everybody else gets their shot. It's a kind of service that I provide. So Matrino Lighthouse, let's hear what you made. Any moment now. Yeah, awesome guys. Just give each other feedback so we can help each other out. Yeah, I think it's a really cool basis for a really awesome track. I really like the melodic elements that you use in the track. I really like the bass. I really like how you have a really great contrast with a really subtle breakdown and an epic kind of drop, and there's a lot of volume differences between the two. The only thing that I'm wondering a little bit is if you could add something that's something of like a vocal or something like an instrument which will really carry the breakdown, because I really like the atmosphere you said. It's really amazing, but I think it lacks a bit of not uniqueness, it lacks a bit of a sound that will really catch my ear, so to say, because now I hear like the breakdown, which is really, it sets a really cool tone. It's really atmospheric, a really cool drop then, and the second breakdown is again, it's really moving, but it's not telling a really specific story in my opinion. So that would be something that I would give to you as feedback, to look into how you can make the second breakdown especially a little bit more interesting, something different happening there. So like you did with the art, but I think you couldn't go even further with that. Perhaps even a spoken vocal, like a vocal chop, or anything goes for this, I always say. So I would encourage you to look a bit into that and to how you can improve that part. But overall, cool track, man. Let's see what the guys in the comments say. The kick could be heavier. Yeah, it could, but I think I rather like to, with this kind of track, if I hear something which is in my opinion more important, I think if you have the breakdown good first, then the kick will follow after, just a little technical thing. But I thought the kick was quite right already, but I think, yeah, when he goes into mixing, he will improve that for sure. Alright, next one. Oh god. Murr. Murr. Next one is another patron. He's called MUGUAR. Please, if you're in the comments, let me know how I'm supposed to pronounce your name, because I'm butchering it right now. And the track is called ID. Let's hear how this sounds. Man, heavy one, this one. I think that you have a really cool ideas going. You just need to put them a bit better in the mix and make some more logical decisions where you want the leads to be playing at. Because now when the kick and the main drop the first drop is hitting, I hear a lot of happening in the stereo field, a lot of detuned super saw kind of sounds. But I'm missing that little sound which sits really mono, which is really punching through the mix. So if you could combine one of those, if you could combine like those really wide synths with a really synth in the middle, which is like really in your face, and I think you would have even more of an impact. Furthermore, for the drop, I think the kick needs to be a bit stronger. It's still a bit too much back in the mix. It needs to be a bit more compressed, so it's really punching through. Perhaps try around with some different top kicks, EQ it just a little bit differently towards the rest of the track, so it's really standing out. And then there was actually one thing I really didn't like. That was the second kick, the kick that comes in here. I like what you're trying to do with the bubbling kind of moonbaton rhythm, but it just doesn't quite work with this kick drum because it's really, yeah, how do I say it? Really blocky. So it sounds really on top of the mix. It's not really well in the mix sound-wise. I think it could go better with a different kick there. And there was one thing, I really like the vocal that you used. I've used it myself on a track which I never released, but I really like the vocal, really like what you did with it. You did something totally different than I did. But I'm really missing a little payoff here, because you have that really cool breakdown, and then there's not a melody happening afterwards, just straight going back into the drop. So I think it would be cool if you could add an element or something like a melodic thing that's really catching my ear and really giving me like that hands in the air feel before going into a drop again. So that would be the pointers I would have for this track. But really cool bouncy tune, and I'm looking forward to hear the final result. So next one, Austin. I've heard a lot from Austin through the streams we've done, so let's hear what Austin made this month. I hope I can listen it here, because it's not a SoundCloud link as I requested, Austin. So let's see how it sounds, if I can actually open it. Thanks, Mr. Magical Green Mouse. Glad you like that song. Let's hear. Jesus Christ, that's loud. A second. I think you have a really cool idea. I really can hear what you're trying to achieve. But there are a few things that I think need changing. The first thing is the kick. I really like the kick that you're trying to create. But it's a bit like when you're hitting like a pen or something, it's not like really a kick which has a lot of body. It still needs to have that hardstyle kind of punch to it to make it sound really big. But I really like the idea you're trying to do with this unique kind of approach with the slower BPM with the hardstyle. It feels a little bit slow for me, so it could be a little bit faster, but that's personal preference. But I think if you look at the technical aspect of that kick drum and bass combination, that you can improve a lot on that, and then you have a really cool. Then you'll see that the leads will color much better with the kick, because now the leads and the kick are really clashing with each other, and the kick is not really punching and giving that body to the mix. Another thing, yeah, I really like the vocal, and then it comes the really big melody that you have, but it doesn't sound yet as a big melody, and that's one reason, is that you don't give the listener a breather to before the big melody comes in. It really comes in like when we're here in the break. Let's see if yes. Yeah, it's like it almost feels like it's not the main melody part, it's still building up. But I think if you, after this part where this break ends, like hold like a little silent with a big hall kick or something, and then bring in that really big melody with some really huge synth, then I think you have a really awesome feeling, and then you can really be able to give the attention to that part, because then it will be like silent and everybody's waiting, and then comes that big kind of impact of the main melody. I think if you give the listener a little bit time to adjust to the silence and then hit them with the big climax, will be even better. So that will be my tip for you. So work a little bit on the kick and on the main leads and the arrangement. I think you have a really cool remix going on. Moving on. Let's see. Salah Eddin is the next one. Awesome to see a lot of patrons are sending music in. So really cool that everybody's sending me their precious music, and I hope that I'll be able to help you guys in creating better music, or as good music as you're doing now, of course. So, Zero Low, let's hear it. Again, some really cool elements in this one. I really like that really high-pitched synth in the first drop and the second drop as well. I think it's really a cool, unique approach to doing like a big room drop or like a progressive, dark progressive drop. But I think you could do some really cool things with changing the rhythm a bit in every second or fourth bar. So now it's like... Now everything keeps really nicely moving every time, like la, 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 la. But it would be really fun if you could make like a two sections in the drop. I think for this one that you keep the main like it is now for the second drop, and on the first drop make like two sections which go like which talk to each other in a way, if that makes any sense. So you have like a melody playing, and then a different melody in the second bar of the drop is playing a little counter melody. So you can have a little back and forth going to make the track a little less repetitive with having the same drops. I quite like the breakdown. I really like that vocoder. It's like, I think it's a really cool effect. For the main leads, I really think you need to look into layering and giving them a bit more mid-range frequencies, because now it's really, it's not really in your face. It's not really pumping yet. And it could be due to the main synth, like the main lead, which is really like really tiny. So perhaps look into something that's a bit more body. And then yeah, overall mixing could be improved a little, but I think it's much better to focus first on the melodic and the creative stuff before going into mixing. But overall, I think the arrangement is really good. It's really easy to follow, and I really like what you did with the track. So that's that. All right. Let's see, Bogs of Arrows Am I gonna do this? All right. You're making it hard for me. All right. Bogs of Arrows is next. Queen. Let's see what this is all about. Where? Bogs of Arrows. I really think that you need to go back a bit and don't worry about making tracks sound really loud yet. I think you should just focus first on creating great melodies, and really you have a melody that's really easy to follow, but you have a lot of sounds going over it and through it. I would really look into finding one melody that you really like and then really focus everything around with the purpose to enhance that melody, not have too much counter melodies. I think it's about in the state where I think you're now in with production. Just focus on creating like really cool melodies and don't worry too much about creating like a whole track with your master. Now it sounds like really, as some guys are a little bit harsh with saying that it sounds like doesn't sound good. I think you just need to go back a bit and don't worry about how loud everything is. Don't worry about how if it's as loud as the tracks that are out there. Don't worry about limiting yet. Just work on creating great melodies first, and from there on start building your tracks. And I think if you just take away a lot of the things that when people are trying to make music or like making music, they try to do everything at once. And I think it's really a good tip to just have fun with one aspect of producing, like really have fun with creating melodies, creating atmospheres, and then move on from there. And we've all been there. I've been making music which people thought were really bad for like 5 years, and I've been really working my way up until achieving like my kind of sound. So I'm really looking forward to hear your next track, and try to take this feedback like to just focus on more new music and really have some fun with making music. And I hope to hear some cool music from you very soon again. So Ambrose is the next one. And we're not gonna roast anyone here, guys. We're just here to help each other out. Let's see, Ambrose Genesis. Alright man, really cool arrangement for this one. It's really straightforward, but that's what I like in this kind of music. There's a lot of ways to improve this track when it comes to sound design, especially when noticing the breakdown, like the main melodies. I think there could be an octave up even, or some layers at least. It sounds a bit too low on notes, and I think if you put it an octave up, it will sound much more open, and then you have a much greater contrast between the leads of the drop and the leads of the main melody. I like the melody of the drop, but I think you need to put a bit more time in designing your synth for this one, because it's now a bit too, it doesn't have a lot of high frequencies. I don't think it's distorted enough. And yeah, when it comes to the mix down, I really think that this is great. You know, it's not loud enough yet, I know, but it's clean, and it's something that I always think if something is clean, it's a really great starting point into creating it loud. Because I really like how you put the kick in your mix. I mean, it sounds like it's an unmastered track, but if you would send this to a professional masterer, I think you could easily make this into a really powerful track. When it comes again to the second breakdown, I would also encourage you to work a bit more on your layering, have a lot of contrast with all the sounds that you're using, that you have some saw leads, that you have some wide sounds, some sounds in the middle, some sound with a lot of reverb, some sounds which are dry, and then really look into creating a sound palette for this track which sounds like it's unique to this track. And it's more like, I think with this one, if you would put the main melody, the main leads of the main melody in octave up, you will see the track will already go into a much cooler direction. So that's what I would give you for the feedback for this one. But really cool tune. Looking forward to hear how it's gonna end or progress. Alright, do I missing anything? Dress. A lot of patrons. I'm gonna go a bit quicker now, so I can. I didn't think I had so many patrons, so I'm just gonna go a bit quicker through the feedback so I can get to a lot more of you guys. Let's see. North of Time. Let's listen. Oh yeah, sorry. I actually forgot to mention. I really like those Daft Punky vocals as well. Just want to send it. I really like this breakdown. I really like the melody that you create here, and when it goes suddenly goes really slow. I really like that. I really like the synth. I think it's a really cool snappy synth. When it comes to the drops, I think you need to ease up a bit on the detuning, and I think the low end is really, but I think the high end is really the main leads of this one are really a bit too screamy for my taste. I think you could go a bit more, ease up a bit of with this, and I think if you find some more how do you say it, yeah, the right sound for this one, I think you have a really cool track going, because I think you have a really cool breakdown. I really like what you did with that half tempo. The mix in the end can be beefed up a bit, of course, but I think it's a really cool unique track, man. Let's see, Axmo, what have you made for me, Axmo? Explore. My connection is not doing too well too. Oh. So take my hand, we can go and see world unknown. Come explore with me. Explore with me. Yeah. Explore with me. No. Explore with me. No. It's a pretty intense track, guys. I really like it. I really like especially how you build up everything. It really has a really solid arrangement. I really like the drops. You have really cool effects which you do with panning and with automation, where everything is not like full on with the filter. It's really dope and really cool way of doing the drops. A lot of interesting elements happening. It's not too random. It's all with a purpose. I really like it. I think a feedback I would have is for the main leads. I don't hear a lot of mid frequency information when we go here. Like it sounds like the bass is really low and the synths are really cut it a lot. So I would really advise you to or add like a legato layer which playing one of the notes, one of the melodies, to have a really check that box that there's also some information being spread with that sound, because now it's really dope melody, but it's missing some. It's a bit sad to say it's got some holes, but I mean in the frequency spectrum it could really benefit for placing the sounds a little bit different. And for the drops, it's not that big of a problem there, but I still hear a little bit. If I compare it, for instance, like the Kivu guys, they have a little bit more how do you say it, a more balanced mix when it comes to low, mid and high. So like creative wise, amazing, but I would really encourage you to look a bit into that aspect, and then you have a really awesome track that I would definitely play out myself. So keep it. DJ Chris. That's I have a few patrons, and then you all guys are ready for the feedback. DJ Chris, let's hear what you make, guys. Pretty solid kick you've got there, but I think or it's the kick that's distorting everything else, or you just put a bit too much limiting or compression on your track, because now the drops are really squished together, and I think a lot of information that you want to get across is getting a bit lost between the kick and the bass line. I really like that little breakdown you did here. And you wouldn't want to know how many people forget to, in a track when they send music to me, that everything is like intro, drop, and then breakdown, which already everything has the same pacing. And I think it's really important that a track has a moment where the listener or everybody on the dance floor has a time to really take in the track, really take the breakdown in before giving them the next climax. And I think you did that really well. When it comes to the layering of the melody and the leads, I think you could put some more work in there so it's a bit more cleaner. And really don't put everything in the whole frequency spectrum, but really take spots for specific kind of sound and really think about which sound needs to be what in the mix. So that's my feedback for this one. Is this the right one? Should this one, right? Ah, yeah. All right, next, Shicker. We take on the world. Let's see about that, mister. I really like the breakdown. I really like how you implement the vocal with sending a really cool atmosphere with those guitars. Reminds me a bit of Martin Garrix. Yeah, when it comes to the drop, I really like the melodic elements, but I think it needs to be mixed a lot better. Like the kick is not punching through the mix. And I think if you put some time into just focusing just on the mixing of the drop, it will just start with the kick and the bass, and then combine the leads with those three elements, so that you have to really dive deep in how to improve that mix zone and A beat with tracks that do something similar in a similar style. I think you can make some progress there. And then when it comes to the main breakdown kind of melody here, I would try to make that a little bit different, or to do it like an octave up or just use a little bit different sound, so it's not the same as the drops when it comes to the sound. So that would be my tip for this one. But I really like the breakdowns, and you know, I'm a sucker for a good breakdown, so really top job on the breakdown. NSH, let's see what you made. Oh, he's going old school. Please don't stop the music. They are going old school.
You do this, keep on rocking to it. Please don't stop the music.
Tune, guys. I really like this kind of music for playing myself. I really like that you didn't try to reinvent the wheel. It's not something really unique, but it works really well. I really like how clean you mixed everything, and I really like how you incorporate some part of the main vocal of Rihanna and really made something bouncy, really something powerful with it. And I would looking forward to hear how this one is gonna end, and I really like the approach you got with this Big Room Festival remix. Let's see, scroll down. CJ, we're almost, I think he's the last one. Yeah, so the last patron, and then it's everybody goes. So let's hear this one. So regarding the Rise of the Mad King album, I'm actually now designing with a designer the physical deluxe versions. It will have a deluxe deluxe package with all the artwork, a lot of orchestral cinematic versions of all the tracks that nobody has heard yet. And we're aiming to release that in March, which will be released via my Patreon page. So I will update you guys on that when we made some progress with that, but it will be around March, maybe begin April, but working hard on that. So that's regarding Rise of the Mad King. So we really wanted to end the first episode of it really with a really cool collector's edition, because I took a lot of time into that. So I really wanted to, I like how everything is digital these days, but I really like to have something which I can get my hands around. So enough about me, back to the music. I love the OTT, but you can overcook it a bit with the OTT. If the melody is like, you can hear a lot when you come out of the breakdown. Usually the breakdown has less volume and less power than the melody afterwards, but here you can clearly already see in the WAV file that the melody afterwards is too... So it's like, where did it go? And I mean that don't in a negative way. I mean just ease up a bit of the OTT and increase the gain, so the lead is and one side is not too squished together, because now it's like really, it sounds like you put the dry wet all the way on 100%. So really encouraged to ease up a bit and just make it a bit more open, because now it doesn't have any place to breathe, and unfortunately that goes on throughout the whole remainder of the track. So I think that would be something that to really look into, how you can improve on that so that it really sounds much more open and much more in your face. And for the breakdown, I really like the melodies that you have, but I think you could go with some more interesting sound, because I hear like this part, it's indeed really trancey, but here it sounds a bit, almost a little bit housey. So now you go from house to trance. So I would really think, like, look into what kind of story you want to tell with this track, because now it's for me a little bit telling two stories. So I hope this helps. Right, now people, let's see, this was the first that was being sent to this 19. Let's start with some music by non-patrons, and I'm gonna start with the first guy or woman, I think guy, because all producers are guys here, which is not bad. So, Logan Ray, we're gonna start with you. Let's hear what you made. Warrior's not out yet, so you can't find it anywhere yet. You have a lot of cool things in there, but there are a few things which are wondering what they're doing in the track, because you certainly have like a pirate kind of theme with this one, and then you have a vocal in there which is like, we're gonna party, la 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 la. And I think if you want to go for a track like that, then you should really go for a track like that, use that vocal as the main melody source, and then really make the melody the same as that. But if you have like a really, I think Pirates is really like in your face, really massive kind of melodies, and if you combine that with a vocal like that, yeah, for me that's not really working. So I would just find a vocal which really in key with the track. I really like the drop melodies. I think you did a really cool job there. Could be mixed a bit better. For the main lead and for the main breakdown melody, I would really suggest to don't make it that high on notes. Just make some layers an octave below so it's not too happy to peppy, if that makes any sense. All right, let's go to another one. Which one? Let's go to Turmoil. Let's see, Turmoil Divine. Come on, connection, work with me. tune. Again, really cool tune. I think there's a lot of potential in this one, and with this one as well, I think that your main melodies are really strong, but you need to make those sounds a bit stronger, a bit more in your face. For instance, like if this is your main melody, make it like really pop out. I always say, if you have like a really cool sound, then show the listener that you're really proud of that sound, to really push it in your face. So I would really look into, for this one, really dissect all the little sounds and really place them really carefully, almost, so that the mix in the end will be boosted even more. But overall, awesome tune. So let's see what we got here. Let's go for Falcons, because I like the Falcon punch. Let's hear it. Oh, that's pretty sad, the broken heart.
You understand how I felt when you broke my heart for the first time. I felt like turning myself to you, but you never really loved me. You are deep for tries my life and all on my knees. I'm broken heart. I was so cause you my life and all that you will.
Alright, man. With this one, I'm really a bit sad that you put that vocal in it, because the vocal is like, your production is really cool, but the vocal just doesn't match at all. It's like, it's not sung properly, it's too loud, it's out of key at some points. So it really suggests to, I'm actually quite sad it's not the instrumental, because I really love to hear those piano lines, and those drops are really, really emotional, but then that vocal is just, sorry, killing it for me at the moment. So I really hope that you will find a better vocal for it, because I think the instrumental is really dope. I think if you have a good vocal for this, then you can also, then it's time to improve on all the little things, because your melodies are really awesome. So that's my 2 cents. All right, Mr. Face, let's see what you've made. Wasted, a song about not rushing success and enjoying life. Since I'm from New York City, a lot of people tend to rush their life away, forgetting that little moments count more than the big ones, and that family and love is what matters. Hope you enjoy. All right.
In the ways of the week, the time's been bleak, I know. You're the fight, the cream, the strength in me, I know. Slow down, you go too fast, love. I'm telling, slow down, I can't keep up, love. Your heart is shrinking faster, and baby, there's no laughter coming.
you should become a sound designer, man. No, I really don't, man. I really love all those sounds. I really like it when I hear a production when I can't place certain sounds and I don't know how they are made. And there's a lot of that going on in this drop. I really like it. If I would, from a personal point of view, from a music, like a song point of view, if I would have some word of critique, is that the vocal is for me a little bit too monotone regarding when the second break comes in. I would love to see something where she does like some kind of hook or something, which is a little bit different than the usual where it's playing at now. But like production wise, awesome, man. Really like it. All right, let's go a bit down. Who do we got here? Beat droppers. Dropping the beat. Let's hear it. The Journey. The Journey is buffering. This. I really didn't think it would go this direction. I thought in the beginning, for me, it had a bit of that Stranger Things kind of feel. But I really like that you used actually pretty basic kind of sounds with the piano and stuff, and really purposely used them, because I think it really fits this track. It's really playful, it's really bouncy. I really like it, actually. So, I don't know what I should critique about this, because I think it's really cool. Even without a vocal, it's a lot of things happening. So, I like this one. Awesome job. Let's see. Hydron. Let's see what he made. Utopia. Now this one is a great example how I like to hear that a lead layer is built up and mixed together. When you listen to this lead layer, better to listen to it here. You hear the every stab of the synth has a powerful impact, and that's really because he has put the right bass line there. He has to put the right synths in the stereo. He put the right synths mono, or at least somewhat mono, and I really like that. And I really like how you put those leads together. When it comes to the drop, I can hear that it needs a bit more work. It needs to be a bit more cleaner, and that's more of a mixing thing. And perhaps it's the kick that could be changed. And on an arrangement kind of point is something that I talked about like a half an hour ago. When coming out of this drop, you directly go into a drum loop, and what this will for me at least does is that you have like power in the drop, and then you come out of the breakdown, and still it keeps on moving. I think this first bar, like the half of this, would be really great if you don't try to build tension there. If you have some part like 8 bars where it's just like where the listener can just take like a breather, like let's listen what's coming next wandering, and then bring those drums in just here, and then bring those main leads again. But I think it will have a bit more of an effect where it goes upwards and downwards, which I think will create a really great impact for the main break melody. So overall, awesome tune. So let's see, which one haven't I heard? Vladimir. I haven't ever seen Vladimir here, so let's hear what Vladimir's made. Simple Things. Let's hear it. Cool artwork. I really love this breakdown. I think you did a really stellar job with this kind of Eric Prydz genre. One thing that I would give as a feedback is if you're using orchestral kind of sounds, which you use this little string, like staccato string, try to look for strings. If you're gonna do, I always say if you're gonna use orchestral kind of elements, try to make them really good, because now it sounds, for me, a bit too thin. So we'd really look for a string sound which sounds a bit more natural, a bit more like it's actually being played. And then yeah, I really like the progression where you start really small and you build it up. And then for the drop, I really like how everything is clean mixed together. The main synth is a bit too thin for me, but for the rest, I think it's a really awesome production. Right, Close Hard. Close here. Hard here. Pink Life. Let's see what this is about. Oh, that's from that game, right? It's a pretty cool track, guys. I only think it's a bit too similar to the Avicii track. Like, it's Going to Heaven, I think. So you might want to, if you don't want to have any copyright issues, to tweak the melody a bit so it's not too similar to Avicii. Because the style is also pretty similar to what Avicii does, which is really a compliment. But I would really, yeah, I would look out for that, because you don't want to get in trouble with legal stuff with this one. All right, let's see which one we haven't. Kevin. Yeah, just a normal regular Kevin. That's here. Yeah, I'm gonna do a few more. Yeah, we can do 50 minutes, and then I got to walk the dog. Really interesting track. I really like that this is different than all the things that we've heard before. I really like this part. I really like is where you did some really cool automation with the detuning and with the pitch effects. I really like it. I really like the drop as well. There's one thing that's I don't know if it's because of SoundCloud, but it sounds like there's a little click before the kick, and it might be my ears, but I feel that it's like so it would probably worth looking into. Then the other thing that I was hearing is that the breakdown is a bit boring for me. So I would encourage you to add some cool atmospherics there. Like perhaps it's also just a placeholder, but I really like everything that comes afterwards. I really like the uniqueness of this track. So I would look into the breakdown, make that a bit more exciting, and then looking forward to hear the final result. Right, Flace. Flace in your face. Really cool melodies in this one. I really like how the piano is building everything up. I would look into how you process the vocal. Like I think I did a video about how I go about it, which could be some help, because I think the vocal is not really processed well enough to really fit the track. And lastly, I think the arrangement is really good. It's really straight to the point, but I would love to see if you could make those cool melodies into a little different kind of synth line. Like for instance, there's a lot of cool things that you could do with this, and I think there might be some more interesting decisions to be made when it comes to synth work. For instance, if you listen to Madeon or those kind of guy, or Leno, which is also really cool sound. Just some ideas, but I really like where you're going with this, and I think it could be a really cool track. So let's see who's gonna get it next. Oh wait. Let's see where we can find a good one. All right, let's not kill Rivio today. Let's hear what he made. Orchestra is just something that brought me into music production, and I didn't think there's any genres. Yes. All right, I'm in love with orchestral music too, so really looking forward to this one. Yeah, awesome job, Revio. I really like this one. I really think it's a really great piece of music. The only thing I would say to you is look into. You have a lot of clicks going on in this track. There are a lot of I don't know if they're like if they're supposed to be a drum or something, but they're really clicking. So I really like this track. It's really well produced. Personally, I would love to see some more string work to accompany those horns, so it's a bit more warmer. But that's just personal preference. I really like what you did. So thanks for sending this one in. All right, let's see. Arson. I can't recall if I listened to this one yet. See, after this one, I'll do one more, and then let me know if you want to hear a preview of Warrior. Then I might leave you guys with a little preview of that one. All right, then a different one. Vicente. Fucking mustard. So, making a statement. I listened to this one already, right? I think I listened to this one already, or I must be going crazy. I really like this one, but I thought I listened to this one last time, but I think if he has sent it again, it's really a lot of improvement has been made. I really now like the main drop. I think I didn't like it back then, but now I really like it. Those main synths could have a bit more punch to them, so yeah, I really like the intro is massive. I really love that. So awesome tune. If you could work a little bit more on those main leads to give them a bit more punch. Other than that, awesome. Well, Arson, I'll try another one. Perhaps this one will work. And that will be really the last one. Yeah, this one will work. So the last one, and then it's I might show you a little preview of Warrior.
These are the years that will be forever in our memory of a life in ecstasy, climbing to the top of the world.
I really like the feeling of this one. I really like how that vocal is awesome, and I really like the melody as well. And you have a few layers already that I think are really well made for this drop. but I think it could you could add a little layer which has a bit more that snappy high end to it. Perhaps a little bit white noise as well to that, so it's a bit more pumping, but overall I think an awesome tune. So yeah, that's it for me this month, guys. I really think you made awesome music again. I can't wait to hear new music by you guys. So I'll gonna show you a sneaky preview of one of my upcoming unreleased tracks, Warrior. But I have to switch the screens a bit because I don't want you guys to see everything that I'm working on. So let's see, all up. So, enjoy.
Down, winter's coming. Worry, I lose my faith so far away. Worry,
So that's all. I hope you had fun, and let's see. So that's all. I hope you had fun with this one. I really liked your music, guys, and I'll catch you